Welcome to D Platoon, officer. I'm Sergeant Rooker. While you're assigned to D Platoon, I'll be your supervisor. Your new position here is that of an assaulter. This is Officer Packmeyer, and he's your element leader. For the record, Officer Packmeyer has been an element leader in D Platoon for 8 years. He's a wealth of information, officer. Learn from him.
Thank you, Sergeant. Hello.
Officer, I'd like you to give some thought to what I'm about to say. You are now one of 60 tactical officers within D Platoon. We constitute less than 1% of the entire Los Angeles police force. Your selection and admittance to this platoon is something to be proud of and respected. As a member of SWAT, you are responsible to meet the requirements of specific tactical criteria and will be tested regularly. Anytime you should fail to meet these requirements, you will be encouraged to train up. Remember, your level of physical fitness, your firearm proficiency, and your... Officer, you dare interrupt a superior? Let me warn you, insubordination is not tolerated around here. Never has been, never will be. Is that clear, officer? Let me tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to let this pass. I'm going to call it a case of first-day jitters. Don't let it happen again. Sergeant Paulin is conducting a training detail later on down at the Academy Range. Be there. Until then, learn what you can and work on that attitude of yours.
Colt 45 cal.
Heads up, gentlemen. We have a new member in the element. Until formal introductions can be made, you may refer to him as the SWAT pup. Welcome aboard, officer. I'm 30 David, Sergeant Paulin. We were just about to do a few drills with the MP5. Step up to alley 13, 7-yard line and join us.
Yes, sir.
Officers with your MP5s, make ready. Officers, come to your guard. 2 shots to center mass, semi-auto. 2 shots to center mass, semi-auto. On the whistle. On guard. Officers, come to your guard. 2 shots to center mass, semi-auto. Officers, come to your guard. Single to the head, semi-auto. Single to the head, semi-auto. On the whistle. On guard. Officers, come to your guard. 2 shots to center mass, semi-auto. 2 shots to center mass, semi-auto. On the whistle. On guard. Put him on safe and let him hang.
We'll get started when everyone's here, which would appear to be now. Everyone, your attention, please. Settle down and we can get started. Today we want to discuss use of force issues, cover the differences between stealth and dynamic entries, and review tactical communication techniques. Are we clear, or are there any questions? First, each call-up we answer is unique to the situation at hand. No 2 encounters will ever be exactly alike. However, Each situation will share certain characteristics: the negotiation process, tactical plan formation, scouting the area for possible approach routes, interviewing victims, neighbors, and witnesses. Structures will share features such as entry ports, single or multiple levels. What we cannot plan for is how any suspect will behave. Remember two things. It is the suspect who determines the outcome of any given situation, and there is never just one way to resolve a crisis. So, how can we truly be prepared? Well, for one thing, we can train using proven tactics and procedures. Any questions so far?
Sergeant Rooker, what type of situation does D platoon normally encounter?
Over 60% of all our call-ups are barricaded suspects. Out of that, approximately 80% of the barricaded suspects will be a domestic barricade of a single male. Soured robberies, hostage taking, and multiple barricaded suspects make up the remaining 20%. Now, anytime you have one or multiple barricaded suspects, time is on your side. Negotiation is key. Time becomes crucial when hostages are involved or the threat to innocent citizens is imminent. If negotiations break down, or if the life of an innocent citizen or police officer is in jeopardy during a barricaded situation, we must be prepared to initiate a tactical plan. Entering a structure can be one of the most hazardous times during an assault. You want to plan for high ground cover, and you want to enter the structure to your advantage. Now, to do this, we always scout the area for an approach route. We also determine what type of entry we...
Barricaded female, North Hollywood area, 339 Westcott Avenue. Shots fired, code 3.
This is Sergeant Pruitt with the LAPD. Lucy, if you can hear me, I want you to answer the telephone. We're here to help you. Please pick up the telephone and talk with me.
It's my wife, Lucy. Lucy Long. She's holed up in the house. She won't come out, won't let me in. Like I told that other officer, she's been mixed up a lot lately. Ain't that so, Katie? This is my daughter, Katie. Go ahead, hon, you tell the officer.
My mom's always been real protective of our family, but it's different now. It's like she's not just protective, she's angry or paranoid or something. I don't know what. I think she's become dangerous. She has a gun now, and she shot at me and my dad this morning.
That's right, and she damn near killed us, too. See, yesterday, she threw me out of the house, hollering she weren't gonna let me back in. She locked all the doors. Neighbors across the street were looking. So I walked down to Katie's. She just lives in the apartments over on Maroa. So I spent the night there. This morning, Katie brung me back home. We was walking up to the house.
I understand, sir. We'd like for your wife to come out on her own so we can get her some help. But if she won't, and the possibility exists she might hurt herself, we might have to go in and get her. I was just briefing Mr. Long on the possibility that we might have to enter his home.
Mr. Long, our crisis negotiation team is currently on the telephone with your wife. There's some concern that she may be delusional. Now, I realize I've already asked you to explain the physical layout of your house and property, but in case we need to go in and get her, I want to make sure that we're prepared. Is there anything else that you can tell me about the house's layout?
Well, of course, you've seen the boards in the front windows. She's got all the windows boarded up like that.
Pop, see what you can learn from the Long's neighbors. Hello, you must be the neighbor.
Yes, I'm Mr. Devon. I've been living across from the Longs for the last 10 years. When I first moved in, they were real nice. Showed me and my wife the neighborhood. Yeah, hadn't been the same in the last few years. You know the wife, Lucy? She beats that old man real bad, all day long. You cops been out here. I'm getting to know you guys on a first-name basis.
Excuse me.
How you doing? I'm Sergeant Pete Monroe. My partner, Officer Lewis, and I are the responding officers. When we arrived, we found Mr. Long quite agitated, and when questioned, he stated that as he and his daughter approached the residence, his wife opened the door and fired a .22 pistol at them. He said she fired 4 or 5 rounds, all misses. He then came across the street to Mr. Devon's residence and asked to use the phone. That's where the 911 call was placed.
What can you tell me about what happened here today? Did you hear any shots?
Yes, I heard the shots at the police officers. I saw the car. I knew it had to be the Longs. Then I heard the shots.
Excuse me.
Hello, Bob Lewis, Hollywood Division. We've been called out here to the Longs before for domestic disputes. The husband calls us out, but refuses to press charges against his wife. We found him with bruises to his face and arms. When we questioned Mrs. Long in the past, she seemed off balance but never threatening. We referred them both to social services for counseling, but nothing's ever come of it.
Excuse me, sir.
Sergeant Rooker and I'll be calling the briefing in a few minutes. Stand by.
Excuse me, sir.
Sergeant Rooker and I'll be calling the briefing in a few minutes. Stand by.
Excuse me, sir.
Sergeant Rooker and I'll be calling the briefing in a few minutes. Stand by.
Briefing!
The situation as we know it is this. We have a barricaded white female inside the residence. She's 64 years old and she suffers from various health maladies. She's diabetic and she suffers from a heart condition that requires the use of medication. CNT tells me she's delusional. She thinks the activity outside the house are gangbangers trying to break in. She's a shooter. Approach knowing she's armed and dangerous. This is the layout of the house. On side 1, we have a front door entrance. This is a dangerous approach as it has 2 windows to contend with. The large front window and a small kitchen window. To compensate for that, we've placed snipers here on this side of the street to watch those ports. Apparently, this house has been somewhat fortified over the years. The garage has been sealed off from the house. Side 3 has 1 opening, a barricaded window. While negotiations continue with the suspects, we're going to place an emergency assault team on side 1 for entry through opening 2. The emergency entry team will consist of the following: Rhea, scout; Denton, rear guard; Packmeyer, element lead. For rear containment, side 3, Pup and Wixel. Any questions? This is a soft probe. I want stealth movement. This changes only if the situation changes. Sounds like the fat's in the fire. Line up for deployment. Let's go!
Sierra 1 reporting. Side 1 is clear of threat.
Hold. Ready to move? Move.
Ready to open door. Ready to enter door. Go! Entry point clear.
Move with caution. Trailer, kitchen door. Pup, you cover Carmichael. Carmichael, pull back. Pup, move in. I'm covering you. Cease fire! Packmeyer to 10 David. Shots fired. Suspect down. Officer coming out. EMT needed now.
Today was not a victory, but a defeat. We were not successful in saving the life of the suspect we wished to apprehend. Rather, we lost that life and jeopardized the lives of others. It is true that the suspect determines the outcome of a crisis, but it's our responsibility to help guide the suspect towards a peaceful resolution. Remember, a truly successful resolution is one where no shots are fired. An investigation is being conducted into today's events. You will be cooperative, helpful, and honest when dealing with investigators. Until the investigation is complete, I'm suspending Pup from active duty status. Pup, today you acted alone and without regard to your element. You let your fellow officers down. Until this investigation is completed, I think it's best that you continue to train and study, but not participate in any call-ups. That's all. Dismissed.